I'm Amanda Haas, and welcome to Vinaigrette 101, one of my favorite topics. Making vinaigrettes is so easy and it adds so much flavor to your food. The trick is there are only 3 basic things you need for every vinaigrette. You need an acid, so whether it's vinegar or citrus juice. You need an oil for the fat, something like olive oil, avocado oil, whatever you like. And then you need a binder, something that's going to emulsify those 2 things and bring it all together. I tend to use a lot of Dijon mustard, but cream works really well too, and so does mayonnaise. So let's get started. I'm going to start by putting a little bit of this Dijon mustard right in the bowl. Now here's the other thing. You can whisk, you can put it in a blender, you can do this in a food processor. I'm going to show you how to whisk up a vinaigrette, but another trick I love is to use a mason jar and just shake it up so you can make a huge batch and have it in your fridge. So I'll start with my binder and I'm going to add my vinegar. Today I want sherry. I use sherry vinegar all the time. And sometimes I even use sherry vinegar and citrus juice like lime or lemon, but you could certainly stick to one or the other. Here comes another important thing, which you'll hear me talk about all the time: seasoning, salt, pepper if you like it. I just like to add the salt at the beginning so it dissolves into the acid. And you can always add more, it's hard to take away, so I'll season and taste as I go. Okay, now watch, I'm just gonna give it a quick whisk. If you added a ton of liquid at this point, it would be really hard to get a consistent, get all of the lumps out. So I just add a little bit of liquid to start and allow that Dijon mustard to be absorbed into the bigger mixture. Okay, that looks perfect. Now, optional ingredients. If you wanted to add any aromatics or any alliums, you could certainly add minced shallot at this point. You could stir in fresh herbs. That would be delicious, but this is just classic, simple. Okay, we've got that. And now, if you're doing this by whisking, the way you emulsify it and get it to all come together is that you slowly start whisking in the oil until it incorporates into the larger mixture. You know, a lot of times they'll say, oh, it's a broken vinaigrette, or it's actually kind of popular on menus to say something's broken. That just means that the oil and the vinegar haven't come together. It's a very fancy way of saying there's maybe not a binder in it. But if you really want it to be nicely emulsified, just take your time and make sure that you're whisking to incorporate. Okay, so I love how this is looking. Can you see how it's all come together? I'm gonna whisk it really hard for a second just to make my point. Any of that oil that's not together, it's gonna get, oh, it's gorgeous. What I'm tasting for right now is to see if I like the balance of the acid against the oil. I'll know right away, you know, you kind of get that bite if it's too acidic. It's there, but the other thing you have to think about too is like, what are you mixing with this? If they're really mild ingredients like lots of lettuces or carrots and things like that, you might want it to be a little more assertive. I'm just gonna add a little bit more oil for my taste and a little bit more seasoning. I have yet to add my pepper. Another great idea is to taste it with whatever you're serving it with. So just dip a piece of lettuce in this and see if you like the balance of flavors. The best news is there's no right answer, it's what you like. Pepper, perfect. The other thing about making vinaigrettes is since you can make them in advance, they're great for entertaining. If you want to serve a salad, make it in advance. Just combine when you're ready to go. Don't tell. Delicious. Vinaigrette 101.